Welcome to the Explainer. The world is always in motion, and today we're going to cut through some of that noise from September 6th, 2025. We'll connect the dots between some major headlines, everything from a tragic natural disaster in Afghanistan to an incredible event in the night sky, and hopefully show you the bigger picture of our world.
Okay, let's jump right in with just one number, 2,200. This figure, well, it's the key to our first major theme today. Just keep it in the back of your mind because we're about to unpack the very human story behind it.
So, to make sense of everything that's going on, we're looking at today's events through four main themes. First, humanity under pressure. Then we'll look at some shifting political tides, we'll check in with our Earth and Sky Watch, and finally, we'll catch a few glimpses of the future.
So let's begin on the ground, where events are measured in lives, in displacement, and in consequences that can linger for years. These are the stories of immediate human impact. And right here is where that number, 2,200, finds its tragic meaning. It represents the lives lost in a truly devastating earthquake that has struck eastern Afghanistan. And you have to understand, this isn't just a natural disaster. It's a catastrophe that's been layered right on top of an already severe humanitarian crisis. The world's focus is now turning to some pretty desperate relief efforts on the ground. Elsewhere in the world, a different kind of crisis is escalating. In Gaza City, the Israeli military has ordered residents to move south. That directive came just ahead of a major military operation, which included the targeting of a high-rise tower.
And at the very heart of this conflict is an information war. You see, the Israeli military says the tower was a legitimate target, a Hamas intelligence center. But Hamas, on the other hand, is calling it an act of forced displacement. These are two completely irreconcilable narratives, and they show you exactly how this single event is defined for each side. Sometimes actions from the past can just suddenly resurface with a vengeance. We're just now learning that way back in 2019, U.S. Navy SEALs were involved in a botched mission inside North Korea that resulted in civilian deaths. And the irony here is just staggering. This tragic outcome happened while diplomatic talks were actually underway.
So, from those very real struggles on the ground, let's now turn our attention to the conflicts playing out in the corridors of power, where decisions can reshape entire nations. Over in the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is making some moves to solidify his government. After his deputy prime minister resigned, he's appointed a whole slate of new junior ministers. This kind of reshuffle is a really clear attempt to manage tensions inside his own party and project an image of stability. And this reshuffle is happening at such a critical time. Because while Starmer is trying to manage those internal tensions, a rival party, Reform UK, is gaining a lot of traction on the outside. According to The Guardian, their rise is marked by controversy and rhetoric that really taps into the very polarization that Starmer is trying to overcome. It's basically setting the stage for a major political clash. Okay, now let's zoom way, way out. We're turning from all these human conflicts to the massive, powerful forces of our planet and the cosmos, which, let's be honest, operate on a scale all their own. First up, a powerful threat. Hawaii has declared a statewide emergency because Hurricane Kiko, a Category 4 storm, is approaching. And just to put that in perspective, a Category 4 packs winds strong enough to cause absolutely catastrophic damage. Now, forecasters do expect it to weaken, but the state is definitely not taking any chances. But tomorrow, the sky is going to offer up a much more predictable and frankly wondrous event, a total lunar eclipse, what people often call a blood moon. It happens when the Earth lines up perfectly and casts its shadow on the moon. And then our atmosphere filters the sunlight, giving the moon this incredible reddish glow for anybody watching in Asia, Australia, and East Africa. And there might be an even bigger, more unpredictable surprise for all you skywatchers over the next couple of nights. The big question is, will you get to see the northern lights? So what's going on? It's not just random chance. Scientists have spotted a large coronal hole on the sun, which is basically a gap in the sun's atmosphere. This thing is sending a stream of fast solar wind our way, and that energizes our atmosphere, which significantly increases the odds of a spectacular aurora. Of course, the final boss is always the same. You gotta have clear skies. All right, for our final section, let's look ahead a little. From scientific discoveries that could change our health to financial trends that are shaping our economy, these are today's glimpses of tomorrow.
Okay, this is a fascinating breakthrough in health science. Using AI to analyze medical scans, researchers have discovered that not all body fat is created equal. Turns out, visceral fat, that's the stuff around our internal organs, it actually accelerates heart aging. But in a really surprising twist, fat stored in the hips and thighs may actually be protective for women's hearts.
Meanwhile, in the financial world, let's look at another huge number. $3.9 trillion. That is the approximate global market cap for cryptocurrency right now. It's just a staggering sign of its massive scale and influence in the global economy.
And after a pretty volatile period, that massive market is stabilizing, which is fueling this wave of optimism among analysts. They're pointing to bullish projections, the potential for some clear regulations on the horizon, and the unstoppable expansion of what's called DeFi, or decentralized finance, as some key reasons for their positive outlook.
So, when we connect the dots of just a single day, we see a world of incredible contrasts, don't we? Devastating human conflict and breathtaking natural wonder. Political maneuvering happening at the same time as scientific breakthroughs. And it all leaves us with a final question to think about. As all these different forces compete and coexist, which ones will ultimately shape the world we all wake up to tomorrow?